Max. Yeah, hey. Yo, season after season, I cook something they believe in. Similar to Santa Claus or White Jesus. Everybody rapping, but nobody tell the truth. Cause they say you spazzing when you wake up, drop a Jesus. Don't put no auto-tune on this one, this is presidential. My versatility just lasts with what they think I will do. I run the city while you sleeping, that's why they don't feel you. You stole so much of my swagger, dog, I should probably bill you. Hollywood.
Alright, man, so a lot of people been talking about you, a lot of people want to talk to you. You know what I mean? Just based off the previous episodes that we've done about like karma, past lives, and like energy and like seeing spirits and whatnot. But I know you was talking about that you wanted to talk about what is it? Like depression, like mentality, and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think before I get to that point, I just want to clear up something. So I think there's some confusion around when I say you agreed to this. And I'm not talking about the physical self agreeing to karma or whatever you agreed to undertake when you come into life. I'm talking about what your soul needs to understand and learn. This is what your soul agreed to, because after all, your soul is your true identity and your physical body is just a host.
My thing is like, when do we make that agreement? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like
when we make that agreement when we're planning out our life to come back into life. So let's say you
feel like it's the movies, like, you know what I'm saying, before you like you in this big ass white room, you know, everybody in the line and whatnot, and like, this is your life, you gotta go, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it seems like when you talk about when you're playing out your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You agree to it. It's like you're standing in front of this big giant motherfucker, and he's like, well, this is what you got to do, and you're like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Is it in a sense like that, or?
Well, you, first of all, you have free will, so you're never forced to do anything, and regardless of what you need to do for your soul growth, because soul growth is really slow. You're never forced, and your guides, when I talked about your spirit guides, they are very instrumental in helping you figure out what your lessons are in your next life. And your lessons in your next life are based on what you did in your previous life.
Okay, so with that being said, so for somebody going through like depression, right? What lesson in this lifetime, you know what I'm saying? Like, what lessons are they supposed to learn in this lifetime? If somebody's suffering, you get what I'm trying to go, right? Somebody's suffering from depression, motherfuckers be depressed, all the anxiety, all this other shit. But how does that tie into something that's spiritual?
Well, you have to look at it like this. I think when people suffer with depression, I feel that they are disconnected from source. And so if they are, and because we carry all of our excess baggage from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, they could be bringing a lot of heavy duty karma into the lifetime. And subconsciously, since all of our memories are buried in our subconsciousness, which is attached to our soul, you know, we can call these memories up to play.
What do you mean?
Because, in other words, so we're talking about illness right now, whether it's mental, physical, or emotional. Okay. And so we carry all of this excess baggage from us from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And so when we plan out our life coming into life, we plan out situations or karmic situations that will help us balance that or rid ourselves of it. But if the karma is so heavy it might override what we're trying to accomplish because we fall into the same habits that we were in previous lifetimes instead of progressing beyond them.
So so basically we agree to certain situations that we all go through in life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I agree to go through the bullshit, even though I don't understand now. Consciously, but subconsciously, I planned all this shit out like, yeah, I'm going to deal with this crazy ass person, whatever, based off of what I need to do and fulfill in this lifetime.
Yeah, because there could be a karmic lesson in there for you. You know, people come into our lives for different reasons. And depending on what your lesson is, then that's how you're going to lay out what it is you need to learn for, and it's all based on soul growth. It has nothing to do with you from a physical standpoint. It has to do with you from the soul source, because your soul is the one that keeps incarnating over and over again until you get it right. It's like you're striving to reach a point of perfection because you were created out of perfection. So you're basically trying to get back to that source, if that makes sense.
Somewhat, yeah. It somewhat makes sense.
I mean, it's when you think of illness, whether it's mental, physical, or whatever, we agree to all of these things. I'll give you, let's say that, let's say in past lives, and we had kind of talked about this before. Let's say you lived during the time of King Edward VIII, who was notorious for beheading people, because back in the 14th, 15th, and 16th century, you know, beheading was the thing to do. You piss me off, well, I'm taking your head off. Okay.
The real reason of getting head, that's what the real...
No. And I always think about the executioner that is performing these acts, because when someone would be brought up on this platform to be beheaded, the executioner would always ask for forgiveness. Like, it ain't nothing personal.
My bad, nigga, but I gotta do what I gotta do.
Exactly. Yeah. So that executioner can come back into life in nowadays and lose his head, because he needs to be able to experience the pain and suffering that he has caused in someone else, in many people, if that makes sense. I mean, if in a past life you cause blindness in another person, mm-hmm. well, you may come back into life born blind. If you take away someone's hearing, I wonder what Stevie did in his past life. You understand? No, yeah, but now Stevie Wonder is a great example. Mm-hmm. He was born blind. Now, I'm not saying that he took someone's sight in a past life, but it's most likely that he did. But you see, he didn't let his blindness stop him from growth in this lifetime. He did what he wanted to do, because he brought other talents with him. So being blind, and when you don't have all of your senses, like if you're blind or if you're deaf, your other senses are kicked in to gear. Yeah, I know that. So if you caused another person to lose their hearing in a past life, you could come back into life as a deaf person. And then you have people that are mute. So if in a past life you, let's say you talk too much. Let's say you knew too much. Yeah. Let's say you spill the beans too much.
Yeah, nigga, stop talking so. You know what? Fuck that. Next life. Yeah, I got you.
You know, your tongue could get cut out. Mm-hmm. So now you come in this lifetime and you're mute. So you can't verbally communicate. So there's absolutely nothing that you do that you won't have to pay for. Because whatever you inflict on another person, you will have to experience. You've heard that saying, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Well, that shit is real.
It's that Slick Rick and Fetty Wap.
There you go. It is very, very real. It's just like when people are involved in, let's say you lived at the turn of the last century when automobiles were just being invented and people were learning how to drive, and it was total chaos because there were no laws about how people drive, no lights. People were just driving all over the place. And let's say that you were killed in a horrific car accident. Well, you may come back in this lifetime and have a fear of driving, because there are people that are fearful of getting behind the wheel and driving because subconsciously they are remembering the pain, the past and the pain. It's the same thing with heights. You know, I have a fear of heights. Now, I haven't fallen off any buildings in this lifetime, but somewhere in my past, I don't know if I was thrown off a bridge. I don't know if I fell off a steeple, but I still carry.
Threw your ass off the slave ship.
Yep, that too. But I still carry that fear. And when I say we bring all of our excess baggage with us from lifetime to lifetime, well, that's an excess baggage because it represents a psychological scar that I continue to carry. Okay? So if you were on the Titanic, and we know what happened to the Titanic.
Shit went down. You know what's crazy too? Because I seen a meme and it was like, it was not even thank God, but it was like, there were no black people on the Titanic. You see what I'm saying? Like, because niggas couldn't get on the ship back then, so that I don't know. I feel like that's karma from like, I don't know. All them, I ain't trying to be all racist, but all them white motherfuckers dying.
But see, now the Titanic is an act of group karma.
What you mean?
It means that everyone that perished on the Titanic, all of those people were together in a past life. And I'm just going to throw something out very hypothetical. Let's say you lived during the time of the Empress Tiberia. And you know they would have thousands of people in this arena watching the gladiators fight. Or Tiberius would have the Christians in there being eaten by lions. And let's say you were sitting in this Colosseum watching this and you enjoyed it. Let's say you were sitting there watching people being torn apart by lions, you know, being eaten by lions, being tortured and maimed and murdered. Let's say this was your soap opera for the afternoon.
Yeah, that was your world star.
Exactly. Let's say that you enjoyed seeing other people being put to death. So now you come back. You're on the goddamn Titanic. And you don't know that. Well, you know what? Subconsciously, you do know that that ship is going to sink. But see, you got to pay off a debt for hatred. Okay? So nothing is going to stop you from getting on that ship. Now, on a conscious level, you'd be like, oh, hell no. But subconsciously, your soul is saying, oh, here's my ticket. Where's my room? Where's my stateroom? Because you're going down with that ship. So because you have a debt to pay off.
So with that being said, so when people have premonitions, are they kind of like recollecting or just like remembering something subconsciously? So prime example is somebody on the Titanic, right? They may be on the Titanic or they just have a premonition like something just doesn't feel right. Is that them remembering the past? They're like, oh shit.
That's remembering what they agreed to. They may not be able to articulate and say, oh, damn, this ship getting ready to go down. We stuck. But it's what you agreed to. It's because you see what's coming. Even though you can't articulate it and say, you know what, I know what's going to happen next. It's coming because you feel it.
So what about, let's just say, SIDS, kids and shit? You know what I mean?
Sudden infant death syndrome.
Sudden infant death syndrome. Like, do they? I'm pretty sure everybody remembers, but sometimes, I mean, consciously, like morally, you be like, damn, yo, it doesn't make sense for a kid to agree to this shit. You know what I mean?
I do.
But kids be dying.
But let me tell you something. Death is a personal journey for that soul. It has absolutely nothing to do with age. So let's say, okay, so you've just completed your last life. You've gone home to the other side. You've rejuvenated. You feel good. Mm-hmm. You're ready to take that journey again. Mm-hmm. And your guides come and say, you know what, James? You got some heavy duty karma to deal with.
I'm gonna be like, what the fuck did I do now? Goddamn, I just went through this shit like that.
You know, and you got some heavy duty stuff to deal with in your next life before you've lived it. So your guides sit down and you guys work out a strategy plan. And you're not forced because you have free will. And you say, yeah, let's just knock this shit out of the park. Let's just give me everything right now. Let me just get down here, deal with it. And then once I get through this life, I'm good. Because once I deal with all this, I know I'm going to be moving up a notch in my soul learning.
Like, I just went through all this shit. Nah, nigga, they going to trick your ass. Be like, nah, nigga, you got 2 more lives. Ain't that a bitch? So
anyway, so you agree to this heavy duty karma, whatever that may be. And you could be doing it too to also accelerate your soul growth. So you get down here, and the other thing I like to tell people is this: when you have a baby, that is a full-grown soul inside that baby.
Okay,
that's
what
so all
that, let people know about
all that goo goo and gaga and oh my God, I think she's all of that shit.
She's so precious. No damn well.
The soul is looking back at you through that baby's eyes, thinking, "I'm a grown ass man." Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Spare me the goo goo gagas.
Yeah. Give me a titty. Just give me the titty. I'll shut up.
I don't know about all that, but anyway, so you agree to come back and deal with this heavy duty karma. Now you get back here and you've been born. Let's say you're 6 months old. And now you're thinking, I don't know now if I'm ready to really deal with this. And you change your mind. But the younger you are, the easier it is to will yourself back home.
To me, that makes sense because it's like you are not necessarily brand new, but this is like it's easier to change your mind. You're not so much invested. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So you can will yourself home at any time. I mean, even as adults, we leave our bodies every day. You know, and it is the soul. It is your actual soul that shuts the body down through naps, daydreams, and sleep. So the younger you are, the easier it is because you haven't been here long enough to have any fears. And you just say, well, you know what? And because you are in constant communication with your guides, it's just like, you know, I agreed to this, but you know, now that I had 6 months to think about it, I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. And you will yourself back home. And you're not penalized for this. You know, and it's like, I thought I was ready, but I'm not. So you go back home and you go to plan B, whatever plan B is going to be. Mm-hmm. But those are things that you're going to work out with your guides. The same thing with abortion. Mm-hmm. Now, a woman has an abortion, but the child that's being aborted has already agreed to this for whatever reason. And it's based on that soul's karma. Mm-hmm. But if you abort a child, the child 9 times out of 10 is going to come back to you. So maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she was raped. I mean, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
But now, 5 years later, she's ready to try again to be a mother, you know. So that same child that she aborted 5 years earlier, that child will come back to them.
I'm back, bitch. Like, oh, okay. Here we go again.
Yeah, but this time she's ready to deal with this. She's ready to be a mother.
And that makes sense and not from an abortion standpoint, but I remember when Autumn had first got pregnant and then had a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm. And
then I had a dream, and in my dream I was holding my child, but my child had like golden, like the eyes were as bright as the sun, and it gave me a feeling. It's like, I'll be back. And I'm like, and I woke up and I'm like, yo, that shit crazy. So then a couple months go by, all them, hey, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? How she did it was like, I got a damn. I came into the house, I go downstairs, you know, I'll be working and shit like that. I look on the goddamn table, it's a Subway sandwich and a note. And I'm like, what the hell? I read the note saying it's pregnant. Ain't nothing to drink. I can't swallow this pill, bro. Like, come on, bro. I'm all scared and shit. But when Ava was born, you know what I'm saying? They took her out the stomach, all light skin and shit. I had me questioning, who the fuck baby is this? But, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at Ava, man, and I'm holding her. As soon as the doctor gave it to me, man, I'm holding my arms, and I was like, it's you, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? Talking about the dream, and she opened her eyes and looked at me, and she just gave me this like this confirming look, like, yeah, daddy, it's me. So I definitely understand like when kids come back or things re-enter your life in a different form in a different way. So I definitely do.
I was given a vision, told me about fishing when I became waiter. I hopped in that water, no flippers or goggles. I swam to the bottom, my hand on that clam, I get at my daughter. My father be calling, is checking upon me. I feel kind of funny, we're missing his call. My brother just buried his father, another just wonders if it's even missing at all. I be looking for hints, trying to ascend. Follow your heart instead of your friends. Spiritual guides keep me alive. I can't look out if I can't look.